still got joy, still got peace. May not be favored from everybody, but frankly, I really don't care. If you don't like me, wonderful. Thank you very much. But I serve a God that says that he looked beyond my faults and saw my. Is there anybody here that can, really feel like it? Is there anybody here that can testify tonight that God had to look beyond your fault and see your need? Somebody shout, neighbor. There's power in the promise. So now that God has to take me to another level in my promise, he has to lead me, Galloway, from glory to glory in understanding the revelatory light of a situation through revelatory experience. Now we have to understand that while the Apostle Paul has been struggling and running along with situation after situation in his life, this is the same Paul that says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, who are the called, I really feel like it now, according to his purpose. And now we find Paul says he staggered not at the promise. The reason why he staggered not at the promise, because he didn't care what folks said about him. He didn't care what folks' opinion about him was. But the Bible says that Paul now was strong in faith. Now what is faith, Bishop? What is faith, Apostle? Faith is found in the 11th chapter of the Hebrews. He says, now faith. What you got to understand is faith can be nothing unless you've got now faith. Many people got faith, but they don't have now faith, because now faith has to take whatever's going wrong in my life and allow God to be God in my life and tell the enemy to go straight back to hell from whence you came. Look at somebody and say, neighbor, I don't know about you, but I'm going to tell hell no. Look at somebody and say, hell no. I ain't going there. I'd rather just go through whatever I'm going through right now than to allow myself to fall from the grace of God, because it's the peace of God that surpasses all my understanding.
That's it.
Look at somebody and say, neighbor, I've been promised for power. Say, neighbor, now that I'm going into another level, oh God, we understand now that we find ourselves into another level and realm in God. We find ourselves now in a place where God has to use us and where he's going to use us. We find out that Paul says, and this man staggered not at the promise, because he was strong not only in spirit, not only in confidence, but he was strong in faith. And since he was strong in faith, God favored him and gave him the promise. This is what the old folk used to say. Old folk used to say, and he walks with me and he talks with me. But one thing, in order for God to walk with you, beloveds, and talk with you, is you've got to be faithful over few things, and he'll make you ruler over many things.